yo, it's your boy Agent Albatross here again with the Cypher Unlimited crew. We have our usual suspects of AD or Alpha Dean. We have Spigs18 or Anthony. And just as a quick reminder, if you haven't already, be sure to follow us here on Twitch and subscribe to us over on YouTube. We just hit over 1,000 subscribers over there, but we're trying to reach even greater heights, and all help is greatly appreciated. And thank you again for helping us reach that 1,000 mark. But Dean, what are we doing here tonight?
Well, this is part two. You know, last time we came along and we did the year-end review. Well, we have part two because it was just so much stuff to review for the year end. Amazing. 2022 was a jam-packed year of wonderful things and goodies. And what we're going to look at now are the actual crowdfunded projects for 2022. And without further ado, I'm going to bat it right on over to Ant and let him get us started.
Hey, a couple quick things. You made me think of something real quick when you mentioned the 1,000 subs. Our great friend Ken Hupp just hit 1,000 subs on YouTube either yesterday or today. Congrats, Ken Hupp. That's a great accomplishment, and we're really proud of you. So if you haven't checked out any of Ken Hupp's stuff, please go check his YouTube channel. He does great stuff, not only Monte Cook Games stuff, but a whole bunch of RPG related stuff. So definitely check him out. And yeah, that's our brother, and we love him, we want to support him. So tonight we're gonna break down everything MCG crowd backs for the year of 2022. It's been like Dean said, it's been a great year for Monte Cook Games. You know, they had so many great announcements and successfully crowdfunded projects that came out this year. So before we even get started, I just want to mention again, if you haven't from our last visit the Monte Cook Games online store right now. MCG has a holiday gift program going on right now where they'll donate a $10 gift on your behalf to many great different charities. And if you don't want to donate it to a charity, you can also use the $10 gift to take off one of your purchases as well. So if you want to do some last minute Christmas shopping for either yourself or someone you can use the gift for that. So to donate to one of these charities, simply add one of the $10 donations to your cart. Like if you was buying a normal product, there's 3 different charities that are involved. One is Support Iranian Women in Their Struggle Against Oppression through the Women's Committee of Iran. It's the NCRI. Or Crisis Prevention for the LGBTQ community via the Trevor Project, or Health Access for under-resourced communities, including those impacted in the Ukraine with the Heart to Heart International Project. These are all 3 phenomenal charities. So please, it's not costing you a dime to just go to MCG. They're gonna flip the bill. But if you wanna you could put more than one code coupon into your cart, so you could pay for one and MCG could pay for one, but either way it's a nice thing to do. So simply enter the code at checkout to get the $10 donation fee. It's 2022 MCG holiday gift. Once again, it's 2022 MCG holiday gift. So let's get on with the show, guys. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about real quick before we'll hop right into the show.
No, I think we're good.
Let's bang this one out.
Yep, and welcome everybody. I didn't say hello. I'm sorry. It's been a hectic 3 or 4 weeks for me. I got a whole sorts of drama going on. So pardon me if I'm a little forgetful this today, but all sorts of stuff are happening. So the first crowdfunded project for 2022 wasn't directly related to Monte Cook. Wasn't directly produced by Monte Cook Games, but it was made by Jewett City Games. And that was in March of this year, that just 2022, was Tidal Blades. It had 8,215 backers, and it raised $969,256, y'all. What do you guys want to read the little short insert?
I can read it, but before I dive into it, I will say something else of note. which it's just personal for me. The initial launch date for Tidal Blades was specifically March 22nd, 2022, and that's my birthday. March 2022 is my birthday.
I forget we're 4 days apart. I'm March 18th.
There's so many March birthdays. But yeah, so Tidal Blades 2 Rise of the Unfolders plus the Cypher System RPG. It was 2 different games, one great world. A campaign-based dungeon crawl board game and an RPG system to go on endless adventures with. The board game was designed by Tim and Ben Eisner. The art and world building were by Mr. Cuddington. And by the way, their art is amazing. I cannot wait to get my hands on the physical edition of this book because their art is... Either way, the board game, 1 to 4 players, it's ages 14 plus, and time takes about 60 to 90 minutes. It's a standalone sequel, but while it's set in the same world as the first Tidal Blades and follows the same characters, it was designed as a completely distinct experience from the first game. Yeah. And then we have the role-playing game Tidal Blades, which was the other part of the Kickstarter. And that was developed by Monte Cook Games, and the game was designed by Shauna Germain, and again, art and world building by Mr. Cuddington, which is A+. And the Tidal Blades role-playing game is a massive 400-page core book designed in partnership with Monte Cook Games. Packed with beautiful art, this 2-in-1 book contains all the lore about the world of Naviri, and also everything you need to get started with Cypher System. So if you don't have the Cypher core book, you can just pick this guy up. It has all the rules, everything you need included. You know, you can create characters, you can run it. Everything you need is in that one book. And yeah, I'm super excited for this project to reach out. If you backed it, you already got the PDF of the role-playing game book, the Cypher System book, and I have enjoyed it greatly.
Do you guys know when the release date of the physical book is? I love the PDFs, but I'm more of I prefer to get that physical, that dead tree in my hand.
I don't know when it's actually being released either. But yeah, I'm pretty excited for it overall.
Yeah, I think first of all, I never played the first Tidal Blades board game, so I have no reference. When we had Mr. Cuddington on to talk about it, which is a great video, by the way, if you guys want to hear from the design team, because the art is fantastic on both these projects. You know, we interviewed them like a year and a half ago. You can check out in our archive. It was a great chat we had with the Mr. Cuddington team. But I have no reference on how to base the original game to the current one. But yeah, so I don't.
Well, they actually said that the new game. It was actually said that the new game is a different game in of itself. It's kind of like 2 or 3 different things, ideas, built in this, or would you say an evolution of the original game. So when everything comes in, and just so, because to answer your other question, Ant, March 2023 is when they said that it looks like we're going to be getting the books.
Oh yeah, because the PDF for the art, we could definitely hop into the RPG side of things. You can't go wrong with Shauna Germain, and you can't go wrong with this art style. This art style is ridiculous. Like, it's so original, and it doesn't look like anything MCG has ever made. So, it was a win-win for me when I saw the art style and I heard Shauna was doing it.
Yes, it was a slam dunk as far as I was concerned. I'm sure as far as a lot of us were concerned. The art style combined with Shauna's knack for a whimsy, lighthearted, great immersive design, and again, if you've backed the project, I've read the PDF already, it's already available. It is amazing. I cannot wait to get my hands on a physical book, and I talk about this all the time. I struggle to sit down and read stuff, but this book, I kept wanting. I was like, oh, I need to read more of this. I need to read more of this, and I actually have developed a one shot that I still haven't run anybody in because I'm terrible. But I do have a one shot ready for this, and I actually thought of something really cool. I haven't told anybody about it, but. Yeah, I have. It's going to be a lot of fun once I actually go and run it.
Yeah, the species, the way that they handled species in this was really unique to this game. And this one actually had a ton of different species. So, it had more than, well, you got like 8 different species to play, right?
There was a lot.
Yeah.
It's something like that. I'd have to open up the PDF to look at it.
Yeah, they're all cool. They all do unique things, and as part of the game, you get to pick 2 descriptors, right? One is your species, and you have a regular descriptor.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is I that's how I usually go about it when I play games that have like a sort of species type element, like fantasy or whatever. So yeah, it's very nice to see that like in print. Like, hey, that's how we're doing it too.
I have yet to play Tidal Blades. So if anybody in chat or Al ever gets off his butt to want to run it, I would definitely want to play some Tidal Blades. I did read it, and I liked what I read. I just, we have a ton of different books.
Yeah,
ton of
okay.
different books we want to run. But yeah, this is definitely something that's on my to-do 2023 list. Is I definitely want to get some Tidal Blades in.
Yeah, I'll definitely make it happen. I'm hoping, again, my New Year's resolution, I'm hopefully not jinxing myself, is to hopefully next year play more often or run more often. And Tidal Blades is first on my list because I already have a full fleshed out one-shot idea for it, and I think I have a really cool thing, I don't want to spoil anything, to make it more fun. But either way, I'm very excited to play it.
So yeah, I'm just curious of out of the, almost, the 8,300 people that backed it at almost $1 million. How many? I'm just curious from a MCG's perspective, how many people backed it for the role-playing game or backed it for the board game? And
Well, I actually backed it for both. So I got the game coming as well. I even ordered on the backers kit on the back end. I ordered the original board game too.
Yeah, I backed it on both too. I got both of them coming as well. And I'm not a big board game guy. I'm just wondering, just from a conversation point of view, how many people you think actually backed it for the RPG, or vice versa? They were board game fans that, there's an RPG in this. Let me try to play RPG out of this setting.
Yeah, I mean, just from our chat, it seems like a lot of people did just what you're saying. Even though the board game people actually got the RPG too, and the RPG people got the board game. Just from our chat, it seems like that's what the conversation seems to be. But that being said, we can move on to our next one, unless you guys got some more to talk about.
I mean, the last thing I want to say about this is, they did almost $1 million on this. That's a good. I know this isn't directly going to MCG, but it's a good start for the year. You know what I mean? For MCG when it comes to, crowdfunded projects. Their first project out the gate almost does $1 million.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a nice high number to see.
Right. Well, then, they followed that right up in April of 2022 with Old Gods of Appalachia. And, we talk about, things doing amazing things. Well, when you look at Old Gods, they had 15,064 backers for over $2 million, almost $2.1 million, $2,097,820 was the amount that they raised for this game. I mean, absolutely phenomenal. And when it comes to Old Gods of Appalachia,
did you give the backer number?
15,064.
All
right. So yeah. That being said, that was like massive. And what Old Gods of Appalachia is, it says, welcome family to the Old Gods of Appalachia role-playing game. Old Gods of Appalachia is a role-playing game of the green, the dark, and things even more ancient, in which player characters protect what's important and try to know the unknowable. It is set in an alternate Appalachia of the Old Gods of Appalachia podcast, a captivating eldritch horror anthology created by Steve Shale and Cam Collins. And the winner of the 2021 Discovery Pod's Best Overall Podcast and Best Audio Drama or Fiction Podcast awards. The Old Gods of Appalachia role-playing game is a standalone tabletop RPG driven by the Cypher system. It's a hefty core book with everything you need to play, including complete rules, character creation, extensive lore of alternate Appalachia in the 1920s and 30s, plus guidance on playing in other time periods. A bestiary of creatures and entities from the green and the dark and elsewhere, magic equipment, adventures, and more. With Old Gods of Appalachia role-playing game, you step into a world of the podcast and bring your own stories of an alternate Appalachia to life. It unlocked an amazing 18 goals, stretch goals, including double-sided poster map, ambient audio for your game, player's guide, cloth map, XP desk, new adventures, new creatures, pocket railroad guide, GM screen, dice tray, a deluxe book with art plates, premium dice prop, crafting kit, and so much more. And for everybody out there, if you backed at the right level, the playtest material just released like a day or two ago.
Yep.
So yeah, this is massive. It's huge. I know there's a lot of us out there can't wait to get our fingers into running some of this stuff as well.
I haven't even looked at the playtest material yet.
Neither have I.
Yeah.
All I did was download it.
Okay.
No, I was gonna say I downloaded it. There's a lot of content in there. And yeah, I've heard the podcast is quite excellent.
My wife and I listened to a few episodes of the podcast together, like on road trips and stuff like that, which is great for. I haven't cracked the playtest material yet either. I did download it, but this week has been crazy.
I haven't even downloaded it yet. I gotta do that.
So I will definitely be.
Okay.
I was just saying I'll definitely be jumping into that, and hopefully I'll be. I can set up a one shot. Maybe we can do a one shot of Old Gods.
All right. Before we get into the one shot, let's actually break down the Old Gods. Like the first thing that's gonna come up. That's never been done by MCG before. Is they took a licensed product from another company and kickstarted it or crowd backed it on their own. Like, it's worth mentioning that it was a very successful audio podcast prior to MCG ever getting their hands on it. So I think that had a lot to do with, unless I'm mistaken, this might be the biggest money gross on any crowdsourced project MCG ever did, right?
Yes, this is their biggest. This is their biggest. Yeah, this is their biggest one.
It's their biggest by far.
Yeah, I mean it doubled.
What else is close to this?
Invisible Sun was massive. I think Invisible Sun did over $1 million, but this doubled it.
Yeah, I don't think anything came close to 2 million. I could be wrong.
No, you're not wrong at all.
Never Discovery of Destiny did over $1 million too.
See, that's the one I would think. It would be
that one did 989,000.
But either way, though, the Old Gods did crazy numbers. It's just a huge testament to how good the source material is. Again, I have not listened to it myself yet. I really want to. I'm just horrible about these sort of things.
It was just double indemnity. You know what I mean?
15,000 backers too.
That's what I'm saying. That's double. It was double indemnity. It was all the people who listened to the podcast itself, on top of all the people who, are RPG fans from MCG, and you already know when MCG says something, I mean, they on average, anywhere from 5,000 to 7,000 backers on just about every Kickstarter they do just on their own stuff alone. So, it was just a match made in heaven.
Yes. I think that the actual getting the license was, I think that had a bigger impact than MCG producing this project. Not saying that MCG didn't work. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just trying to say that the actual licensing of a popular IP is something that I think MCG is going to explore more because of the success that this had.
I agree.
Well, yeah, any IP
prior to them even, producing anything. That's freaking phenomenal.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's again, hopefully they'll take that idea and run with it, because we always talk about this. There's so many amazing IPs that would work wonderfully with Cypher System, and all those IPs have their own fan bases. And just like with Old Gods, you see the fan bases show up. Like if they know that, like, it might be different for podcasts specifically because it's not a very visual medium. So when they release an art book for something, this is essentially an art book for the, the people who aren't into the role playing game or who are just into Old Gods. It's like, oh crap, there's gonna be art. I can like see what these things are supposed to look like. Like that is a huge deal when it comes to these sort of things. People love good art, and MCG always comes through with the good artists.
Yeah, yeah. The art. First of all, the one thing MCG has always done well is they know how to hook you with the stretch goals, and every stretch goal in this Kickstarter was a banger. It was a banger after banger. Like everything that they announced was, oh, I want that. I want that. Let me up my backing to the everything. Like from the tin to the map books. Like everything looks so beautiful. And you know they're gonna produce like high quality work. But look at the cover. Look, the cover of the regular book looks better to me personally. The cover of the regular book looks better than the deluxe edition.
Because you have that cool ass deer on the front. Again, most deluxe, I feel like, I mean, I don't own many deluxe versions of things, but I feel like they try to make it a little more classy, so to speak.
Yeah.
So like the little insignia with embossing or glossiness or whatever. But either way, I'm excited to get my hands on either, both. I know both are coming my way because we back at the highest. But yeah, I'm so excited because again, outside of, again, we weren't, this wasn't something that was on our radar, old Gods of Appalachia, before it became a Cypher thing. But the genre in and of itself, without knowing any of the base, lore or whatever have you, that itself is powerful. What is it, like gothic horror of like
Eldritch horror.
Eldritch horror, like what is it, the 1950s,
It's like Cthulhu.
60s, whatever?
It's basically the ancient gods, those creatures and creations that are beyond comprehension. So, it does deal more in the ideology of smoke and mirrors. The things that you don't see is what frightens you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dean. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just like, it's like Lovecraftian, Cthulhu, noir, 1920s, 30s. It hits a lot of the tropes that one, I think Cypher System doesn't have. It checks the boxes of the genres that Cypher System currently doesn't have, and it's original as all get up. That it's original take on Cthulhu, original take on Lovecraftian. It has that noir feel to it that, it's right up a lot of game masters' alleys. I just think this was like the perfect storm.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. I mean, I don't necessarily consider it noir, but it does have it has an old feel to it. It does have that.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's 100% noir, but it's also not 100% Cthulhu either.
That's why I said it's Eldritch horror. It's not Cthulhu. Cthulhu is Eldritch horror. Lovecraftian, Lovecraft just basically took a genre by the horns and became extremely famous for bringing it to the forefront. But he doesn't have the market cornered on it or anything like that. Cthulhu is not the only playground like that, for example. That's why but it's reality of it is, at the end of the day, is just freaking cool. It's going to be I think it's going to be a great setting for us to explore. And, there's going to be some great stuff that comes out of it. I mean, this is definitely your wheelhouse, and as much as you love horror.
Yeah. Thank you, Chad. Gonza Gaming is cosmic horror. Yeah, cosmic horror is actually.
Yeah, it is the genre.
Yeah, the entire genre. It's also based in an area of the world that doesn't get much love when it comes to RPGs. If we're being 100% honest, so I'm really curious to see how it deals with not only the time period, but deals with the area as well. Like, it's something that, you don't get to read a lot about. So it's going to be exciting when you get the book in your hand, especially someone that isn't from the.
But that's one of the coolest parts about it is because, like I said, of course, we all know Tammy is near and dear to her heart. It's where my mother's from. It's that area that my mom's family is from and stuff. Places I've visited, as well as like I said, it's just it actually puts you in a position to kind of seek these things out because there's actually a lot more fiction out there than I thought for this, this particular area type of horror, the whole nine, and it's actually caused me to actually seek some of those books out and, indulge in some of those stories.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. And again, I know we all basically just said this, but to boil it down again, even if you don't know Old Gods of Appalachia specifically, it is super awesome that we're getting Cosmic Horror Cypher. Like, that was my huge takeaway. As soon as I saw this, I was like, amazing.
Hey, Al.
Yeah.
Remember, it's Appalachia. Remember, Tammy told you, it's like going to Appalachia.
Yes, Appalachia. Pardon me. But yes, I'm very, again, as someone who doesn't know anything about it, I'm still super excited because Cosmic Horror and Cypher.
Also, just the sheer amount of stuff you're getting on this Kickstarter, they really, really thought this well out. The props are Invisible Sun-esque. You know what I mean? The props you're getting with this. Have you seen the images of the map book or the Pocket Railroad Guide?
The Pocket Railroad Guide, the tin, the scrim, the scrim,
like
the coins.
Teddy bear connected to this?
What?
There's a little teddy bear of plush.
No, it's a dog. It's a plushie. It's Sam.
Yeah.
It's the blind dog Sam, the plushie. I got one of them coming too.
Yeah, there's just so many goodies came out of this from the stretch goals. Like, just so many.
And the artwork is phenomenal.
The art that they were sharing just through the Kickstarter was so evocative. It pulled you right in,
I wonder if the playtest material has some of the artwork included, or is just actual.
You know what?
At a first glance, it looked like just text, but I did not explore it.
I think it's all just text. Mine is right here. Let me see.
It definitely seemed like all text. I think we can move on to the next one. While Dan looks, we've talked a lot about it. I will say one more time before we move on, I'm very excited to actually sit down and read this and look at it, and maybe I'll start listening to the podcast in my car as I drive my husband to work, and he can fanboy about it at me while we're listening and stuff.
$2 million, woo!
Yeah,
that's phenomenal.
But yeah,
the next it's all text, guys.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. But yeah, in September, we actually stepped away from Kickstarter and onto BackerKit for The Weird. And it was The Weird and The Glimmering Valley, excuse me. It was the Numenera project as well. And that raised $405,000, or $405,882 specifically, with 4,272 backers. And let's talk about a little bit about The Weird first. So, from interesting to gonzo and everything in between. Where is it? Role-playing games give us a chance to explore, discover, imagine, create, and face challenges. Our games shine brightest when they're vivid, unique, and a little bit mind-bending. So how do you make another room full of orcs, another space station full of aliens, or another dark cult really special? How do you make every game session truly new and memorable? A moment of real discovery and imagination? You make it weird. This BackerKit project hit 6 stretch goals and had a bunch of really cool add-ons. So we got through the add-ons. We got the Weird deck, we got the Sight deck, we got the Weird Miniatures deck, we got the Weird Dice set, and the deluxe edition of the Weird. And we also got the Glimmering Valley as part of this. and that's a like you can correct me if I'm wrong, like a location you can just place in Numenera somewhere. Like I think it has a
Basically,
location on the map, but yeah, go ahead.
yeah, well, what they've said is that it's basically a new starting place. So you don't have to have your players always starting in a steadfast. So it's a new place for you to start from. And again, like you said, it can be put kind of wherever you want it. You know, I haven't seen it yet. Well, none of us have seen it yet, of course, but I get that feeling, Anthony, you know what I'm talking about. I get that idea for Crow, you know, that the valley can just appear anywhere, at any time. It just appears in different places. Maybe, for 6 months it's in one place, but it's whatever you want to do because hey, it's Numenera, it's weird, you can do stuff like that.
And the
I
weird oh,
thought it was,
but
I was gonna say I thought it was weird that they combined these two books together in the first place.
I mean, it kind of makes sense because Numenera is a weird setting, right? So, like,
Right,
if they were going to
injecting the
bundle it
weird.
with any setting, might as well Numenera, right? And Numenera, again, is their most popular thing, and people are
Right.
clamoring for more Numenera stuff. So, I can see why they wouldn't have produced either of them alone, if that makes sense. Like, it would have been a hard sell on either one by itself. Even though I feel like Glimmering Valley still would have did work by itself. What you call it, they probably wanted to focus more on the weird, which is
Yeah.
what we saw. We saw a lot more
I
of the
mean,
weird stuff.
I mean, if you
Glimmering
think
Valley's
about
gonna
it,
come with a ton of
MCG,
new adventures. Is gonna come with a ton of location ideas, a ton of spur of the moment things. So it's always a welcome addition. The more material you get for Numenera to begin with, Numenera is such a rich setting that GMs and players alike are always looking for additional material. So no one ever complains when you get a new Numenera book.
this is very true.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, what can we say about the weird? Just a little preview that they gave you. That's I think still available on the MCG website. The preview alone for just the concept of how it works out is really cool. We fooled around with it just from the glimmer they gave us of the weird. Remember we kind of came up with a whole little setting just based on prompts from that. So I think the weird is going to be a great project for everybody.
Like every other MCG crowdfunded project, the stretch goals and the add-ons were, I think was what makes MCG products. And this one was no different. Because you got a weird deck, which is basically, MCG loves to randomize, give GMs tools to improv on the spot. And the weird deck is going to allow you to insert that weird into not only, the current game you're running, but any of the genre settings that they're running. Then they came up with the site deck. That's a Glimmering Valley deck, isn't it?
Well, I think it can be used for anything, but I think it's kind of built around the whole concept of Numenera in of itself, to come up with interesting sites, for adventures to take place or encounters or so forth.
Yeah, the miniatures for this look freaking awesome. The weird dice, we were talking about this at GameHoCon. We actually found a pair of those funny shape, what's the
silicone dice? They're silicone.
Those are also awesome. And the deluxe edition for the weird looks really cool. And I think this goes without saying. We say this about every product MCG does, but the artwork, once again, it's 100% original. Looks nothing like you've seen any other MCG book, and it's phenomenal. I'm really, really, really blown away by the weird. As an ex-graffiti artist, it reminds me of Ron Baudet, and I love that 70s, 80s street art aesthetic.
It's got so many things in there, because like you talk about the street art, but it also gives me that feeling from the old pulp era art, when they would put space, or whatever, how they wrote it, it was bubbly and, organic and so on and so forth, all those aspects. But you hit the nail on the head with that, Ant.
Yeah.
You know, and that's something that we can say is unique for MCG is that all their titles actually have their own unique evocative art. You know, Numenera has an art style. The Strange had an art style. You know, and as they
Sun.
the Invisible Sun, exactly. And each one has their own unique art style, which is, you know, is crazy because you can even look at like the Weird and compare it to Invisible Sun, but you can't. It's like they're like the reverse mirror images of each other, but they're immersive.
Oh
So
yeah, the art direction on both of those are entirely different.
that's what I'm saying.
What you mean, yeah.
But you see what I'm saying about them, like kind of being like these weird mirrors of each other, it's entirely different, but somehow relatable. It's pretty awesome.
I will say this: my gut feeling is that Oh God's art is gonna blow everything out the water, just from just what they've been showing. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I think it's gonna be like it's gonna be next level art direction.
Yeah, like I said, there's like I said, no comparisons. Like I said, nothing. I wouldn't put anything past them. You know. So, guys, let me ask you a question. Which of these projects are you most excited to get your hands on?
That's a tough one, actually. That's actually a tough one to answer because they all are providing something different, right? So Tidal Blades gives you that lighthearted, whimsy, fun game that you're looking for. Oh Gods is the darker side, you know, we got horror. And then we got the Weird, which is just an awesome sounding toolbox for anything, which you can use in any game. So it's actually pretty hard to pick between these three. Well, four if you count Glimmering Valley as well. I'll let you guys chime in. I gotta think about it.
Oh God's hands down. I don't think it's close for me. I'm a sucker for horror games, and I think it's a horror game that it's a horror style that I don't have as much experience in, that I really want to dive headfirst into the pool in. So without a doubt, it's Oh Gods for me. Even though, don't get me wrong, I love Tidal Blades. The Weird looks really cool, Glimmering Valley, but it's not even close. It's Oh Gods for me.
And as funny as it may seem, I think just because of the aesthetics, I'm totally on board for the Weird. I can't wait to get my hands on it. The Weird is that's my wheelhouse because for me, I like to take things that exist and twist them and flip them. I mean, you guys have played, you know, games with me, you know, and like how I did my take on the Thundercats or, you know, my take on the Silverhawks, you know, you guys were a part of that. And I think the Weird is just going to allow me to do even more of that with like no qualms. Not to say that I am not excited for Oh Gods or Tidal Blades, because I'm excited for both of those as well. But the Weird just has an aesthetic that speaks to me, you know, the style of, you know, gamer and GM that I am.
And since y'all two said the other two, I'm just going to say Tidal Blades is then my most excited one. I'm most excited for. And I'll just pontificate or whatever why. The art is amazing. Mr. Cuddington, they're both fantastic. They were awesome. The world they built is super cool. The art is amazing. And I cannot, I think I've already mentioned this, I cannot wait to run a jet ski race in a game because that's going to be part of the one shot. There's definitely going to be a jet ski. It's going to be the whole thing basically. But yeah, jet ski races.
You know what? And I can't wait to play that because that just, I don't know if you guys out there know who watching the show, but Al, you know, always talks about being the new one a bunch and so on and so forth. But Al has an aesthetic about things that require a little bit of rhythm. He might be long-winded sometimes, but Al knows how to set a good rhythm within a game with different aspects. And I really enjoy that when you do it, Al. So looking forward to playing some Tidal Blades with you.
I appreciate that, but I still just shrug. Whenever anybody tells me a compliment, I'm just like, if you say so.
How about you in chat? Is what project that was crowdfunded this year are you most excited about? And while y'all guys start putting that in the chat, I'll ask the fellas the next question we wrote down. But was there anything that you thought they would have crowdfunded this year but didn't?
That's a tough
I'm
one to answer.
honestly, I don't know. I've learned not to set any expectations or ideas of what they might do, because whatever they do, it's just like, I'm a stupid fanboy. It's like, whatever.
That's
You know
basically
what's
my thought. So we'll go ahead.
you know what's weird? And call me crazy, right? But uh the if you look at past crowdfunded years, this year was a little different than say the last 3 years, right? Because MCG, this is the first year that they actually only produced one actual game book that wasn't, involving someone else, right? Like this year, Title Blades is another person's IP. The
Oh
Old
God.
Gods is another person's IP. The Weird is basically a options book, right? So technically, this is the only Glimmering Valley is the only product that they kickstarted this year that's an actual MCG IP, right? And if you look at prior years, they're either creating new IPs or building on existing IPs that they currently had, or they're giving you a board game or something new, something different that they created in-house. I think that 2022 was the year of using other people's source material and converting it to MCG. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, again, it's, not the question you asked us, but yeah, what you just said makes perfect sense. I mean, like I said, I just don't even try to put expectations, anymore, because they always flipping the script on us.
Yeah, I know. But it's good to have like these conversations.
No,
I'm not denying that at all. I'm just saying, because you think about it, if you think about the previous year, we got, 3 games in a box. When you start looking at Stealing Stories, that was something entirely different. That was something they hadn't done before, which, again,
Yeah, but it was all done in the house.
Yeah, oh no, I get that. But I'm saying now you look at this year, yeah, they went outside the house and just blew us away.
So is that going to be a trend? Like, let's discuss that a little bit.
I
don't know if it's going to be a trend, but I think it's just growth.
Yeah, so it essentially, again, they were probably testing the waters, right? How well can we do using other people's universes, ideas, world building, whatever, right? And honestly, I think it showed that it has a successful, track record. I don't know what word I'm trying to look for, but it has a potential for success. Tidal Blades did very well. Old Gods of Appalachia blew it out the water. Again, this is speculation. We could hope to see more collaborations in the coming years.
I wouldn't mind a Station 151.
Hey, that would be cool.
But see, that's what I'm saying, though. You got to think, but I think what MCG has done this year, they tested the water. They got a couple of IPs that weren't theirs, and now they've seen exactly what they can do in that realm. And when you touch anything that has its own following, a following all of its own, and then you bring in another medium for it to be expressed in, and you don't understand how many times those fandoms might cross over.
Yeah, either. Lord and Lady M put it, 2022 feels like the growth year, expanding into other IPs, growing the fan base by reaching out to other fandoms. Yeah, that's exactly the point I was trying. It felt like a different Kickstarter year to me. Like to go to the original question, was there anything you thought they would have crowdfunded this year, but they didn't? Pretty much everything they crowdfunded this year, to me, felt like it went against their norms. So pretty much the entire year felt like something that they don't normally do. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just...
See, and I don't know, Anthony, I guess I guess over the last few years of us doing this and being so ingratiated with them, this just seemed like more of what they've been doing. Every year seemed like an evolution. Since we've been doing ours for the last 5 years, if we look at over the last 5 years, look at the evolution of how they approach their crowdfunding years. I mean, you think about, the years before, it was just like Numenera, big Numenera, big Invisible Sun, then we came forward and we got, the advice book with, your best game ever. And they start giving us the toolkit books, the splat books,
I think you way off on your thing. Like best game ever was like in the beginning. That was way before the Numenera discovery of Destiny.
I'm just saying it's an evolution. I know I'm not putting it in the same order that they came out, but my point is, if you look at the evolution of what they've done, and best game ever didn't come before Numenera, Discovery and Destiny. It came after.
That best game ever was Worlds of Cypher books, wasn't it?
No, best game ever. That was all the splat books. That was all the toolkit books.
Worlds of Cypher wasn't what best game ever.
Worlds of Cypher was the first thing that they did after they created the Cypher System rule book.
Yeah, that
was when we got
time
Unmasked. Ago. That's when we got Unmasked. Gods of the Fall.
Yeah, my fault, because I'm thinking that Worlds of Cypher came out with Unmasked.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's you're right. That particular Kickstarter was called Worlds of Cypher System. When they did the your best game ever, that's when we got Stay Alive and Stars of Fire and so on and so forth.
Yeah, you're probably right. It's a blur because I've been backing them since all of. But either way, I understand what you're saying. But I want to push back on that a little bit because I don't think that there was innovation the first 2-3 years. Not saying that it was a bad thing, but I think it was a successful formula that was being followed. And I would say the last 2 years have been more of expanding up, being more innovative and doing.
Yeah, the evolution. You evolve. Yeah. I mean, that's all I see it as. I see it as them, being smart business people evolving their business model. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, how do you guys compare this crop of MCG crowdfunded projects to previous years?
I mean, we got amazing projects.
You said it.
Would you say it?
Totally different.
Oh yeah.
No, just that we got amazing stuff this year. It's hard to compare projects because we don't have the stuff yet, except for Tidal Blades. But
Jack think it's a banner year for them, and I have to agree with Old Gods.
Yes, that was what I was leading up to, was the amount of money that Old God saw, like as far as success or whatever of the projects goes. This was a hell of a year for them. Like they did amazing, as far as exceeding their goals with these projects. As far as content wise, I feel like we got some great stuff this year. But like Anthony was saying, it's like we didn't get any like original stuff, if that makes sense, even though it is original to us because we don't really know Tidal Blades, we don't know Old Gods. But again, that's not a slight, it's just something that was different. You know what I mean? Like we haven't seen them really do this much.
We've never seen them do anything outside of their own house.
Yes.
You know what we didn't get this year? When Al just said original, we didn't get the Monte new game. Like if you notice, the last 2 years we got a Monte new game. It was the Darkest House the year prior, and then we got Stealing Stories. This like the new Monte innovation. We didn't get that this year.
Yeah,
good point.
When you said original, that's what made me. I was like, yeah, maybe that's what it was. You know, like lately we were getting like Monty had a new idea that Monty was doing. We didn't get it this year. We didn't get that this year, which is weird. Because you've grown accustomed to that. You know, you've grown accustomed to Monty giving you something like, I got this new idea.
You know, I guess I'm the weird one of the bunch because I really never even look at it like that. I just wait for them to announce whatever is coming out next. I don't, I wasn't even though you're right, I agree that you're 100% right that,
I'm sorry, I overanalyze everything, but that's just.
No, that's not being overly analytical. That's just the lens you're looking at it through. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually pretty good, and I think that's one of the other nice advantages, to actually us doing the show like that, because we do get to hear, multiple perspectives, and gives us a different lens to look through. So it's pretty awesome though. I still have to say, like what Al said, this year has been uncanny. It's an uncanny year. We got a lot of great new stuff. So we'll see where this takes us. And I don't know. I guess speaking of that, coming up, guys, new Game Master month in January, right?
Yep. If you haven't already, you could get the link from, I don't know. Oh yeah, Al has the link up. Or you could also go, there's several different, it's not only Monte Cook Games, there's several other great RPG companies involved as well. I personally haven't really looked through all the stuff to do it in depth, but I'm sure we'll do an episode going over new Game Master Month. But it's a great way if you want to learn how to GM. It's a great resource. They're going to give you advice every month from all these great content creators and give you an adventure step-by-step walkthrough on how to run whatever game system you choose.
And I just want to add on to that what Anthony said. It's called New Game Master Month, but guess what? Old Game Masters can learn a thing or two too. Because every year with New Game Master Month, we as a group participate through, going through the weekly things. Last year, we actually followed it, and that's what our shows were in January. We actually went over each week of New Game Master Month, which I'm hoping we do again this year. And there was a lot of stuff that I was able to, get some takeaways from, even though, I've been game mastering for a long time. I think New Game Master Month is a brilliant idea and one of the best resources we have out there as GMs.
Yeah, it's definitely a super awesome thing that they're doing, getting people together to teach these systems, to try to get more people in the door to be GMs, because it can be quite intimidating to just start up, with no guidance, no help. I was lucky enough to have Anthony to help me out. That's basically how I got my start GMing. But, as someone who might not have, maybe you're someone who's interested in it and you don't have any close friends who are into role-playing games, this would be a great way for you to get in there.
And then the last thing we got to say, what were we saying, that, Anthony?
No, you could go, Dave.
I was just saying the last thing we're going to say too is new crowdfunding project. We don't know what platform is going to be on, but in January comes Adventures in Cypher System.
It's going to be on BackerKit.
And they gave us, Anthony said BackerKit. So
yep.
They did give us a couple of pieces of artwork from it, which inspired a whole lot of ideas. I've been told that Sean K. Reynolds told me, after everything goes live, he's got something to tell me, I guess something I said on one of the streams or something. But that looks amazing. Amazing. Just from the art alone, 2 pieces of artwork to cause us to jump to our skin. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm
going to say it now that I guarantee you that the Cypher System Bestiary is going to be in this. It's going to be one of the early books in this.
And wow, guys, you realize we're less than 2 weeks away from a whole nother year. 2023 will be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can you guys, did it feel like this year just kind of happened?
Yeah.
I kind of feel crappy because I don't think I got as much gaming in as I wanted to this year.
Oh, I know I didn't.
Like I said earlier, where hopefully my New Year's resolution is to run or play more games, whatever. I think this year I played a total of 3 times, not counting like stream games. I don't like, games we put on the channel, whatever. Like offline, like just for funsies, maybe 2 or 3.
I mean,
So
I
yeah.
run more than 3.
No,
but-
I've run-
definitely
I've
I'm
run-
low on there. I'm low
I've
on
run
there.
quite a few games at the game store, but I definitely need to get online and do some more stuff on Cypher Unlimited. You know.
Well, with New Year's, hopefully new changes.
All right, so don't forget, guys, that January they got a new Cypher system with 3 new setting books, if I'm not mistaken, with 3 brand new untouched genres. So I think they're gonna start off the crowdfunded. I'm used to just saying Kickstarter. I would say Kickstarter until I figure out a better word for it. But Kickstarter projects, they're gonna start it out with a bang in January. So it's gonna be a good year.
Yeah.
And if you like us and you like what we do, join the Cypher Unlimited Discord server for all things Monte Cook Games. We have the largest fan-run Discord server with over 4,000 members and growing. If Discord's not for you, join our Facebook group. It's not as big as our Discord, but there's still many great conversations being had. If you want to support us, subscribe here on Twitch or give us a like, share, and follow on YouTube. We hit 1,000 subs on YouTube, and we'll really appreciate it if you go to our YouTube channel, subscribe there. You still want to grow our account to 2,000. You want to support us some ways? Our videos are always free, but you could give us a little donation like on Ko-fi. It helps us out with little things like Zoom course. Or visit the Cypher Unlimited online store and pick up some cool Cypher Unlimited merch like the shirt D got on or the hat I got on. And last but not least, we love you guys.
Yep. Any final words, Dean, before I close this out?
Hey, just everybody have a happy holiday. Whether you're celebrating Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever the case may be, if you just got, Festivus for the rest of us, who knows? It is available out there. Enjoy yourselves. Have a happy new year. And I cannot wait till we have our next video and talk to all you people out there in the wonderful interwebs.
Yes. So until next time, happy holidays. Stay happy, healthy, safe. Have a gentle holiday. Yeah. So as usual, from us at the CU, we will see you later.